Do I need to jump in the Discord live? Okay, cool. Alrighty then. Think I'm live. Okay, cool. Let me just pull up the chat really quick, and yeah, let's go. So, how's it going, guys? Smelly McTroll, and this is the one and only Sonic RPG. So, you guys are in for a bit of a treat. And time in this game is actually going to start after I select a file. So we're just going to do a little bit of a countdown here. So let's go 3, 2, 1, and let's go. Yeah, I already see the comments about the music, and yeah, they pretty much just took the soundtrack from Sonic 3D Blast, some tracks from Sonic CD, and remixed them, but the remixes aren't very good. Yeah, also, this is not BioWare's best work. Okay, so just like every other Sonic game, we start off in Green Hill Zone. And pretty much the objective for the speed run here is to let Sonic gain 1 level. So we get 50 XP for this. Just that one side quest. We chop 1 log for that old guy. And then we're going to have 2 forced encounters here in a second. 50 XP each. Sometimes Sonic does get a crit on this, so we can end this encounter, hopefully in 3 attacks. Average is 4. But even though Sonic's attack rating is pretty low, he basically never misses this guy. Alright, so it looks like we're going for 4. Now, I'll talk about the stats in just a second. At least some of them. So, attack and defense in this game are kind of weird. Its attack is basically your accuracy. And your damage is actually determined by a hidden stat called power. And that's really the one that we're going to worry about. We only normally attack with some characters in this game. Overall, we just use power moves, and power moves are kind of like your magic. Okay, yeah, so I got caught in the dialogue loop there. So if you just mash through the text there, and you keep picking option 1, you get caught in a loop. So you have to pick the second option to actually close that one. Most of the time it catches me off guard. Even though I know exactly when it comes up. Okay, so all the way through Green Hill Zone we're going to get these tutorials. And this is basically the running tutorial right here. Anytime you run away in this game, or an enemy runs from you, you have to play this little mini game. So you can hit these accelerators to speed up. The boxes slow you down, and they also do like 1 damage on contact. Another little quirk is that those mini games are actually tied to your speed stat. Oh, we actually got a really good fight there. So they get a little bit shorter the higher your speed stat is. Which actually comes in handy on one of the boss fights. Actually, a couple of the boss fights. Okay, so here's where we're probably going to start to whiff. These bees have a higher defense. Oh, good. Amy's swinging for the fences. This is real good, actually. So I probably won't have to heal her. Okay, and this is pretty good occurrence as well. So when these enemies run away from you, and you catch them, you pretty much have 100% accuracy after that. So we don't have to worry about whipping. Alright, and Sonic's going to gain a level, and the reason we need Sonic to gain that level is that we need to get this power move, Fastball. And then we're going to go up here and actually grab some equipment. Just going to grab the boxing gloves from that item crate up there. Trying to collect these rings along the way. Rings are actually the currency in this game. So I'm just gonna do my first menu just to equip Sonic with those boxing gloves so he can do a little bit more damage to this mini boss. So we're just gonna run around here. And once we get to this bridge down here, the first mini boss will pop out. And usually we would have to heal coming out of that one encounter that we have to take. Because Amy usually gets beat up there and her health goes below 20. If it gets below 20, then it's kind of scary. It'll be a risk for this fight. But she's at 25, so we should be okay. We just want her to stay alive. At least until we get this power move off. Okay, and it looks like we're going first. Also, a thing I want to mention is that pretty much everything is earned in this game. So nothing is given to you for free. Every power move has an action attached to it. Some of the actions are easier, but then we have some of the actions that are pretty hard down the line. So that makes the game kind of exciting as a speedrun. At least a little exciting as a speedrun. Not so much for casual play. Okay, so we have one more thing to do in Chapter 1. And that's fight the actual boss fight. But first, we're gonna grab Tails. And this will be the time to talk about strongholds. So, every time you go into a stronghold, which Tails' workshop counts as, you get a refresh for your PP, which is basically your MP, like I explained, and your HP as well. So, full party refresh. And then we get to one of the more annoying, actually, enemies in the game, SWAT bots. These guys did show up in the Sonic Saturday Morning cartoon, and they're back in this game. And what we want to do here is actually do a fastball and try to attack this guy, and then Tails will distribute some power candy to these two. So we take out one of these drones right away. They have a rather annoying ability called evade, and it doesn't make them impossible to hit. It makes them very, very difficult to hit, though. And looks like Amy's going down, so this fight's gonna get a little bit longer. I think I have a revival ring. Yikes, Amy. What are you doing? Yeah, so, see there, he's actually evading. Please don't swing at Amy. Alright, we're good. So, actually, we can't even fastball right now. That kind of sucks. Yeah, we really need to get rid of this drone over here. Ah, boy. This sucks, actually, a little bit. Okay, he did Crusher, so we don't have to worry about him attacking. This is actually real bad. Oh, man. Okay. So, what are we gonna do here? We do have one revival ring, so that's good at least. Okay, we should take him out this round. There we go. Whew. A little bit scary there. Playing on the edge. Also for leveling, we want to take Blow Kiss as Amy's power move. Actually allocate all Tails' bonus points to defense, and we want to allocate all of Amy and Sonic's bonus points to speed. Yeah, that boss fight didn't go like it usually does. But that is the end of Chapter 1. So, starting Chapter 2. First thing we have to do here is actually get kind of a tutorial puzzle. And we just talk to this guy. So, before you can activate a puzzle, there's usually somebody standing there you have to talk to. And then your party splits up. So all we have to do for this one is just step on those 2 switches, and then we get Tails to go up this ramp. And get set right there, and then we have Rouge run around all the way over to this pipe on the other side. Tails is swinging all around. Then we just hook that up and then swing it into place. Easy peasy. Another important note is that after you finish a puzzle, all the characters regroup on the last character that was used. And see, it really doesn't matter what we allocate for Rouge. We don't really use her. Okay, and to talk about encounters in this game. So they're not random, and oftentimes you can create enough space for you to just slip by them, just like that. This one's basically unavoidable, though. And we got ambushed by these wasps. A cool thing about the ambush is you can tell if you're getting ambushed or if you're ambushing the enemy party by Sonic's face on that bar when it pops up. So if he's kind of grinning, that means you ambush them. And if he has a really shocked look on his face, that means you got ambushed. Okay, so we just wait till these guys are in a certain position, and we can run right past them. We want to run over here, grab the refresher, which really doesn't have too much of a purpose in this run. I pretty much just get it to sell it. We want to avoid that guy. Oh, I got hung up in the wall. I should also note that this is basically a pure touchscreen game, so the controls are a little bit finicky, to say the least. Sometimes they don't do exactly what you want them to do. Yeah, so they installed like a really bizarre control scheme. Pretty much everything is controlled with the touchscreen. But the menu, you can press start to bring up the menu, but it doesn't work half the time. And also you can press the L or R button to take one of those field actions. Okay, now we're getting into the meat and potatoes of Chapter 2. Fighting these SWAT bots. And the SWAT bots do have to get knocked out in the same round, or they activate an ability called self-repair, they just get right back up. And it's actually really good that we got that ambush right there. So right now we're going to manipulate the stack. And what we want to happen is we want Amy to use her Blow Kiss ability, which raises Sonic's damage. And with the blue bomber, it gives him enough damage to actually knock these guys out one after another. And again, nothing's for free, so we have to complete the action. And 2. And sometimes these guys can defend and you lose a little bit of damage. And it really sucks when that happens, which is why ambushing is great. So Chapter 2 is basically just this. Right, so we have like 3 more of these little Eggman side hangouts to to go and find. And just as a precaution, I'm gonna take some of these item boxes. So we have some more healing items. Wait till that guy's in the same spot. So there are 2 in Central City, and there are 2 in Green Hill Zone. And yeah, Central City, Green Hill Zone, and Mystic Ruins are pretty much your hub for the first 3 chapters. So we go in there just to heal a little bit. Try to avoid this guy right here. He's pretty easy. And then we do this again. So you might remember this fight from 5 minutes ago. We're going to do the same thing, and hopefully it goes the exact same way. And hopefully the next one goes the exact same way. Also, I should note that you don't actually control what your characters do when you ambush. Just one of the ways you can tell that this game is unfinished. Okay, so a little about the battle system. So attack and defend are kind of your constants, right? Characters get multiple actions per round, and if you press attack or defend, that actually just fills up your slots from whenever you take it. And your variables are your items and your power moves. So what we're doing is just manipulating it again, so that Sonic's first move is just something trivial before he attacks. That way Amy can empower him. And that went well. So now we're just going to head up to Green Hill Zone and take out the other 2. Another note, when you come back onto a map, enemies respawn in a certain position. So if you know where that position is, you can successfully avoid them pretty much every single time. So we just stop in there, so we have a few more resources. And cut around here. Hopefully I avoid these wasps and that armadillo. That armadillo was dangerously close just now. Okay, there we go. Spawn those wasps on screen. And fly away. Alright, round 3. Okay, didn't get an ambush this time. Let's see, we're just gonna go ahead and use a health leaf, I guess. Set 2 blue bombers and blow kiss. Standard layout. And we don't want to get hit by that crusher attack. At least we don't want Sonic to get hit by that crusher attack, because it inflicts weakness status and makes your damage go down. A lot, actually. Luckily, it is a very easy power move to avoid. And I don't think either one of these guys are defending. Also, there's no tell if these guys are defending. There's no animation, like, whatsoever. The only way you can tell is by hitting them. So it's a surprise each and every time. Alright. And the final one, we really don't have to worry about those guys defending, because we have a level up. So we do a little bit more damage. Alright. And hopefully we get some rusty hydraulics from these guys. Oh. Oh man, I almost avoided that guy. It's very difficult to avoid him. He starts out very, very close to you when you respawn back on the map. And oftentimes, my stylus is way too close to the character. I don't estimate the position very well. So, the character ends up walking instead of running. And we're going to avoid these guys again. I'm just going to go up around this way. just so we don't get any random wild boars attacking us. So, second puzzle. Very easy second puzzle. Just move characters to these switches. Drops a plank on this bridge. So all you really want to do is reserve a flying character to go third. So in this case we have Rouge. Fly across, hit that switch, and any character that's left over. So Amy in this case, we just have her jump across and drop the last plank. Level up Sonic, and we're good there. And Rouge, again, doesn't matter. And we want to quickly move down because there are some wasps that come screaming out from right above you. And usually I don't get away from these guys. And this time will be no different. Also, I don't think I mentioned this yet. For this minigame, you just tap the characters to make them jump. So we're gonna go slightly out of the way. Because we're gonna get an optional character. We're gonna get Cream. Not right now, but we're actually gonna start the quest to get her. So the quest is initiated, and we're not gonna finish it until Chapter 3. Which is very soon. Dodge this guy. Also, 100% encounter rate on that drone out there. He respawns right in front of the door, so you're always going to run into him. See, in here, all we should need to do is give a pile of candy to Tails. He needs at least 8 PP. Right, and another ambush. Getting pretty good luck on the ambush. Which is great because ambushes are actually tied to your luck stat. So it increases the likelihood that you will ambush an enemy party and decreases the likelihood of the enemy party ambushing you. Which is immensely helpful in some of the boss fights. Because they can ambush you and get an extra turn, and that is bad news every single time it happens. So I think this guy might be defending. Not entirely sure. He is. But we still have enough damage to take him out. And a 1, and 2. Defense. Okay, get that scan. We pretty much shouldn't use scan, but in an emergency situation, you'll have to. So we'll just grab this and roll down the Mystic Ruins. Right after we run from this guy. Alright, and just so we don't get another encounter, I'm actually going to take the long way around here. Oh, that boar was dangerously close. Let's go ahead and switch to Sonic. The characters also have different movement speeds on the overworld. I believe Sonic is slightly faster than Rouge. So they do run at about the same speed. That's the wrong way. Let's go around here. Let's try it this way. Okay, so next we have to run down this road. This leads to the next zone, Mystic Ruins. But then we have this gun soldier here that tells us that the path is blocked, so we have to find another way around. Which prompts us to go back to Tails' workshop. And then we take a little trip inside. Talk to Tails really quick, and then go outside, and that will spawn the tornado on the map. So instead of walking down the Mystic Ruins, we can fly there. And this is where we're going to pick up our next party member. And honestly, this is probably the best sound effect in the game. Right about here. Okay, so we get Big. Big isn't super useful throughout the run. He does have his moments, though. And we are forced to take him here. This is one of the only 2 areas in the game where you're forced to take Big. He does come in handy in a couple fights. We actually need his invulnerability ability to get through that poison fog. And then we move on to the next puzzle. So this one, for some reason, if you get Sonic to stand right here and you switch party members, you get an extra ring. I'm not sure if that was intended, like, or what's going on with that. But I really don't complain about it. Take an extra ring. So we get these 3 guys set on these buttons. We get Sonic to grab this item and then run around to the other side. Stand here. Tails is going to switch buttons. Right here. Then Sonic's going to place the item. And Tails is going to run away. That's going to solve that puzzle. And we want level 2 Froggy Rain here. That's going to be important in the very immediate future. So we just switch off to Tails, and we're just about at Chapter 3. So we find the Marauders, which are the eponymous Dark Brotherhood, just hanging out in one of Eggman's old bases. And we come all this way to save Knuckles, but Knuckles apparently doesn't need our help. Just punches all these SWAT bots and walks out of his cell. Alright, that's Chapter 3. So all the Eggman communicators we picked up in Chapter 2, Tails kind of fashions into a Eggman device detector. Let's see, and our party's going to be Big, Knuckles, and Tails for this one. Knuckles we actually do want to increase attack because we attacked with him a few times. And he's actually a big backup, too. And that's what we're going to be doing in Chapter 3. We're going to be going around and we're going to collect 6 Eggman devices. First we're going to start a quest down here. And we're going to set up to go back to Green Hill Zone in a second. So we talked to this shopkeep. Someone actually broke into his shop and stole his prize stapler, so we're going to have to go find that. And then we're going to buy some stuff. Namely Rock Salt. Rock Salt does increase your damage. It does the same thing as Amy's Blow Kiss, except we don't need Amy in the party. It only gives you 1 level of Blow Kiss, or Empowered State rather. So not quite as useful as Amy, but it is useful for this section, so we can avoid a party switch. Also, for this guy, we want to slow down the dialogue, and we want to pick option 3. That way we can we can avoid the fight with that guy. Now we're actually going to head down to Mystic Ruins. So there are 2 devices in each area. And we're going to get the second one for Central City when we come back. But first, this mysterious black hedgehog is going to come and he's going to roll us over. I don't know who that could actually be, but we're going to find out in a second. Right after we avoid these caterpillars. Come on, guys. There we go. So after we run right down here, this mysterious black hedgehog pops out, and he makes this really bizarre, like, noise. Like, I don't know what this is. And we want to slow down here, too. So we want to pick option 1, and then option 2. And that way we can avoid a fight with Shadow that would, really lose us some time. Okay, and then I'm actually gonna safety save here. That's the wrong thing to press to save. Also, menus in this game are kind of slow, if you haven't noticed. Also, for some reason when you save, it reloads the chapter. The reason for that save is because we have to fight these enemies called Robodillos. And we don't want to fight that set. We want to fight this set in here. But if you get caught by that set outside, you can't run from them. So you end up wasting resources. And here's where Big kind of shines. So we give him some rock salt. We go off on the blue bombers on these guys. Froggy Rain. We want to uppercut one of these guys. And then we want to give Big a pile candy. Yeah, so this is another fight where you have to knock all these guys out at the same time, which is why Big is so good. So all we really have to do is make sure all these guys are under 36 HP or under for the second round, which is pretty easy when you got blue bombers. So we just kind of have to hope that guy on the end isn't defending. And then go all out on him. So we're going to attack here. We're going to use another Froggy Rain. Attack and attack. Okay. And we should be good here. In fact, we are good here. Knock them all out. We're getting some pretty low-level rewards. Haven't seen hydraulics at all. This is a pretty rare drop, though, I guess. Okay, we get a pretty important piece of equipment there. The economizer. So the economizer reduces cost for PP moves by 1. So it's very useful at multiple points in this run. Alright, so we're gonna safety save again. Because it's a little harder to actually avoid these guys on the way out. Want to wait till we're right about here. Alright. And then kind of swipe around and avoid those guys. And then we're going to fly back up to Green Hill Zone. And we're all set up with our side quest. So we talk to this guy to get Prize Stapler back. And now we're actually going to finish out Cream's quest. So we go up here and we grab cheese. But we don't get to use cheese just yet. Don't get to use them until we go and grab Cream in a bit. Alright, so I'm gonna equip all that good stuff we got. And now Sonic's gonna get the economizer. Tails gonna get the spooky charm. Knuckles is gonna get these lucky gloves. And we really don't need anyone with the refresher. But just put it on big. Just because. Refresher just gives you 1 PP point per round. I'm also going to safety save up here, too. So, Chapter 3 is kind of nerve-wracking. With these bosses right here, and then the chapter boss. So, when we go in here... we're going to fight these scorpions, and these scorpions are actually kind of ridiculous. So they hit a lot harder than any enemy that you've encountered up to this point in the game. Oh, and we got ambushed. That's not good. So yeah, you can see just how hard they hit. They can reduce your life by half. Pretty crazy, actually. And they're actually going to be able to go before us again. So yeah, this is pretty bad news. We're going to try to work through it, though. Hopefully Blue Bomber imparts the weakened state to them, reduces their damage. Okay, that's good. Anytime they use their POW move, Tail Blast, it's really easy to avoid. And we don't take any damage from it. So, let's hope we get weakened status on these guys. 1, 2, nope. That's unfortunate. Maybe we'll get it on the second one. And looks like Sonic's probably dead here. Yeah. So that's unfortunate. So this is, I guess, where we use scan. Yeah, so like I said, it's really unfortunate to get ambushed. And it's not a common occurrence for these guys. So we just scan that guy. It actually lowers his defense quite a bit. Gonna try to set up a Blue Bomber for next turn. And also use a Health Leaf on Sonic. Sonic is gonna go first. Unfortunately, we do lose that empowered state. And these guys are aggressive right now. Usually not this aggressive. Oh, okay. Now he gets the weakened status. It's fine, I guess. Oh, I guess that's not fine. Yikes. This fight is not going well. Not at all. Okay, that miss is good. He doesn't have scan on anymore, So this isn't going to do quite as much damage, but we're looking for that weakened state, which we still didn't get. Man, crazy. This is a pretty crazy fight. So this is exactly why I take a safety save here. I guess yeah, from here, I guess I could just scan and then, let's see, we're gonna use a pile candy. The fortunate part is he's not killing us. It's technically a mini-boss fight, and it usually doesn't take this long, but we got some rather unfortunate RNG. Some really unfortunate RNG, actually. Okay, Sonic is gonna live through this. I'm really hoping to get rid of this guy this turn. It's been pretty horrible, actually. Alright, there we go. So, needless to say, that's actually a major reset point. In actual PB attempts. And so is the next boss fight. Okay. So now we're going to go over here and actually close out the Cream quest. And once we go back to a party selection screen, we're going to swap Cream in. We're going to increase her defense. And then we're going to get 2 levels of refresh, 1 level of heal. Yeah, we got a little boy, and we put him in our pocket, and we're gonna take him back to Central City. Ooh, almost got an encounter there. Didn't get one there though. Sometimes that armadillo comes up and he taps you on the shoulder and says, "Hey, do you want to fight?" Okay, so unfortunately, I haven't found another way around this. You do get the Eggman device as soon as you defeat those scorpions, but we have to go back and get the prize stapler quest finished. And the only way through is actually to just take this path, which turns into Little Boy quest. And we only get 25 experience for fighting those scorpions. So we go around here, and we're going to finish up the chapter quest. Turn this in. And we're good. And it's actually... we get an RNG reward, and it's great that we actually got that revival ring, because we just ran out of those. Alright, so now we're going to go up and do the actual boss fight for this chapter, which is even more nerve-wracking. Very unfortunate. Hopefully we get better RNG than we got on the scorpions. So the next boss fight, it's going to be SWATbot Mark II. So same enemies we've been fighting all along, except they're a little bit stronger, and they do all still have to be knocked out at the exact same time. The unfortunate part about this boss fight is that they have a lot of health. So all my strats are intended to kill within like 1 or 2 rounds of the fight starting. And then you kind of just adjust off RNG. And this fight, not this one here. So these are just regular drones. We can get rid of these guys. They're not too much of a problem. Unless they evade a bunch. So Sonic goes first, gets rid of this guy. before he can evade or do anything. And that guy's evading, so yeah, this blue is actually going to do anything to him. It's an unfortunate situation, so we're going to have to take a couple more rounds. Yeah, and these guys do massive damage as well. For some odd reason. And I'm actually just gonna have Cream refresh everyone's power points. So Cream's kind of OP. She has this move, and if you complete the action, then she even refreshes her own power points. So you can just keep doing it every single round. How many times in a full run would I not get a perfect action? There are some pretty hard actions towards the end, so I don't know. I've never actually kept track of that, to tell you the truth. But I imagine I drop somewhere around like 10 actions or so. Probably per run. Let's see. So everyone's good here. Actually, something else I need to do in that menu as well. So right here, I need to unattach. I need to unattach Cream from Cheese and equip Cheese to Sonic. So Cheese actually boosts the party's luck, but since Sonic is in the party all the time, we'll constantly have a luck boost. Cream gets swapped out at a few other points. Yeah, so this is unequivocally the worst boss fight in the game. It just flat out sucks, and there's not really any way around it. But first we power up Knuckles, and this first round we're really just trying to get them down to about somewhat even life totals. And hope that we impart that weakness state on these guys. That's going to help a lot. Looks like that guy got it. He was defending though, so he took a lot less damage than he normally would. And as you can see, he's just doing 1 damage now, as opposed to like the 30 he would normally do. And 1 and 2. Okay, good. Both those guys got weakness status. Very good, actually. Then we just kind of attack the guy with the highest health, rather. And then we're gonna refresh with Cream. Gonna lower these guys' health again. And hopefully these guys don't defend. If they don't, we can pretty much clean up next round. Okay, that's good. Anytime they do Crusher, that's pretty much a free turn. And anytime they do Crusher, it's not defending. So, also a boon. Alright, so we should be able to end this encounter right now. I'm gonna do a refresh with Cream just in case. because once we knock one out, we have to knock them all out. So here we go. There's one. There we go. And knock him out. Okay, so we should be good. This went actually really well. Much better than the Scorpion fight. Yikes. So, wow. That's a thing. I don't really know what happened there. Okay. So, yeah, we're gonna do this. That's why Cream is brought along in this fight. So, that guy was defending, so he only took 1 damage. That's unfortunate. So, Cream just kind of acts as a back break in this fight. So, once we get on the advantage, we can pretty much stay on the advantage. Yikes, these guys are defending. This isn't good. Now. These guys are just trying to ruin my day. Huh. Well, alright then. Yeah, self-repair is ridiculous. And every time they get back up, right, their status anomalies go away. And then they can defend as well, like randomly defend. So there goes Cream, which means we might actually lose this fight. Yeah. This is bad. Again. The unfortunate thing is that they can guard against Blue Bomber, because Blue Bomber is not an armor-piercing attack. Knuckles' uppercut is, though. So you get the full damage pretty much no matter what they do. Okay. There we go. Yeah, unfortunately, both those boss fights went really, really bad. But now we're in Chapter 4. And after the madness that is Chapter 3, Chapter 4 is actually kind of relaxing. So we end up back in Tails' workshop. Just talk to him really quick. Again, that spawns a tornado outside. And let's see, we're gonna take Amy, Knuckles, and Tails here. Also, you'll notice that we have Eggman as a party member now. We're not gonna use him here, though. So now we get a new zone. We get to go to Blue Ridge Zone. So Blue Ridge Zone even has really relaxing music. And the first thing we're going to do here is talk to this guy and get a side quest. So for some reason, this side quest has a really big payout for not much input. But first, we meet this mysterious black hedgehog again, and this time we're actually going to fight him. So we're going to start off just using a random item, just use a random antidote. and then Blue Bomber him twice. So here we only have to get his health down to 75. Okay, he started off with Chaos Spear, so this is pretty easy to dodge. We're gonna empower Sonic. And now we're gonna take him out. Much easier than those Chapter 3 boss fights. And he even has weakened state, so that's the icing on the cake there. So one more time, and this ought to do it. So we get this right on time, an Axe Kick, which is a solo move. Just in time for part 2 of this boss fight. So Sonic chases him down, and then we get one of these escape sequences. And if your speed stat is high enough, then this sequence is very, very short. Just dodge the Chaos Orbs. Hit a couple accelerators, and we're in there. So we don't even need to, like, use a Rock Salt for this fight. I'm just gonna Axe Kick him. Yeah. We should get both of them off before you can even do anything. I wouldn't say it's heavily RNG based, but there are a few boss fights that can wreck your run, depending on what the enemies decide to do. So Shadow's in our party now, and he becomes very important. Actually, immediately. Okay, so we run up here. So we're gonna finish that side quest right here and now. We just talk to this guy and tell him not to turn the power on in the power plant. He goes away, and then we go to turn in the quest. And for some reason, the EXP payout is 500 for this, where every other side quest around here is just like 10, 20, 30. Okay, and the rest of the zone's pretty easy. Enemies are pretty easy to dodge, save one. So I'm gonna get all the way to the right and hope I get past these birds. I got past the birds. Run around here and hope I get past the lizard. We're gonna tell Tails to stop reminding me to save my game. Yeah, this is the Diamond Dust Zone theme. It said every song in this game is pretty much taken from either Sonic 3D Blast, either version, Genesis or Saturn, or a Sonic CD. Okay, so this boss fight is pretty easy as well. We just gotta hope that they don't phase. So if they phase, they can pretty much just opt out of taking damage completely. But it's still fine. Okay, so yeah, so we're gonna Atomic Strike twice. So these are Nocturnus. Nocturnus all have a 10% weakness to electricity. And Shadow's Atomic Strike just happens to be one of the only power moves that has an element in the game. There are, like, one or two others. But with that weakness, and with its damage multiplier, at level 2 it gets, like, a 225% damage multiplier. You can pretty much make a mockery of these boss fights. Really any boss fight with Nocturnus, as long as they don't phase. So that's pretty much chapter 4 right there. Also, you don't want Amy in your party at this point. If you do have Amy in your party, then there's an extra cutscene that triggers right here, where she runs up to that ice wall and starts trying to destroy it with her hammer. She is unsuccessful in doing that, and then it just triggers this cutscene right afterwards. If she's not in the party, it just skips to this cutscene. And now we're coming up on the worst puzzle in the game. So this is kind of the Tetris puzzle. You see these pieces on the side. You have to go up to the monitor, and you get like a random combination of these. And I think this is switch 1 and switch 5. So we're going to do 1, and we're going to do 5. And let's see what this one is. So I actually have a chart because, yeah, this is kind of ridiculous without it. So this is 3, this is 5, and 6. And what's this one here? So this is 2, 3, 4, and 6. Oh wow. So yeah, my chart was actually wrong for that one. Unfortunate. Anytime you get one of those wrong, you have to start over from round 1, which, yeah, you can see why this would be frustrating in casual play. Because they're all randomized, and there's so many combinations of these. And I actually don't think I've captured all of them, but I have about 90% on my chart. Okay, so this looks like 2, 3, and 5. Oh, so that's exactly why I ran to switch 1. Oh boy. Okay, 2 and 3. Luckily we get the same one, so we can redeem ourselves here. Just look 2, 3, and 5 again. And for the last one, hopefully the last one, let's take a good look at that one. And oh great, I actually don't have this one on my chart. Let's see if we can kind of clutch this one out. Let's see. I think there's a 6 in there. So now we have like basically a 50-50 for the final switch. Well. Yikes. I really don't know here. Let's... Oh boy. Oh man. So let's start over. How about that? So 1 and 4 here. We're gonna get through this one, guys. Don't worry. It just takes a little while sometimes. So we got 1, we have 2, and we have 3. There's really no other puzzle in the game like this. Okay, take a good look at this one. Got bad news. This one isn't on my chart again. At least I don't think it is. Yeah, so we hit like a pretty rough patch of RNG here. Ah. Alright, 4th time's a charm? Maybe? I think you guys are gonna end up seeing like all possible combinations of this thing before we're through here. Okay, we're gonna try it again. Let me see. I don't see this one on there either. Maybe. Nah, it's not on there. Yeah, so this one is clearly 6 and 1, right? No, 6 and 2. Okay, 2, 4, 5. 2, 4, and 5. So let's take a good look at this one. Man. Okay, so this appears to be 1, 4, 5, and 6. 4 and 5 and 6. We got it, guys. Yeah, so the solution to that puzzle, it's like, it's not even on Game Facts. I actually had to, like, create an entire guide for that, just for speedrunning this game. Like I said, I have 90% of the variations for that, but it was throwing us some things that I really haven't seen before. But anyway, let's go ahead and move on past that. So, this is the first chapter where our party splits up. And we're going to take Big over on this team, and Rouge, and then Amy and Shadow are going to go with Sonic and Knuckles. So we're going to keep going with defense on Big. And then Eggman, we're actually going to increase his luck. And we're going to get this move called Sabotage. Sabotage is going to be really important, again, in the immediate future. Yeah, so we don't take Cream along this time. She really isn't necessary. Not for Chapter 5. And Tails' team is actually really slow. They move really slow in the overworld, so Rouge kind of speeds that up a little bit. So it's going to switch back and forth between Sonic's team and Tails' team. Also, this is the first time where we see like broken enemy paths, and sometimes you can manipulate these guys into going out of bounds. Like that. It's pretty severe on some of the enemies, actually. Okay, so the objective with Sonic's team is to basically steal an airship. And we're just gonna head up to the northern portion of this map and make that happen. And, okay, not get ambushed by these guys. So if I'm lucky, I'll avoid the rest of the encounters here. That's some pretty big enemies. Got that guy. We're gonna switch to Knuckles. Get our message here and avoid this Marauder. Looks like I'm gonna avoid him. Good. So back on the ground, we're gonna collect another weapons part with this team. And we're trying to activate a giant cannon, actually, on the other side of the zone. And hopefully I don't get ambushed by these drones over here. Let's run away. Try to manipulate these guys to go out of bounds. Looks like they're not going to bite this time. Maybe. Maybe they will. Yeah, they will. There they go. Get our second weapon part. Scan 3, which hopefully we won't have to use at all. Try to dodge the rest of these guys. And I'm actually going to go over here and solve this puzzle first. So this is a very simple Simon Says puzzle. The most optimal pattern is ending on red, because we're going to have to go up that conveyor belt. And as I said earlier, the party does regroup on the last active character. So we really want red on the end, so they regroup on rouge. But we're just going to get everybody set before we proceed here. And Eggman. Alright, so blue, red, blue, yellow. So blue, red, and blue, and yellow. So red, blue, yellow, red, 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 blue, yellow, red, red. Blue, yellow, and red, red. Yellow, blue, red, red, blue, red. So we got a decent pattern here. Also another strat is coming up. Hopefully I get it. It's somewhat dependent on the position of those marauders at the top of this conveyor belt. But you kind of spam... Okay, I didn't get it. You kind of spam L or R as soon as you get to the top of the conveyor belt. And you can catch that flight prompt. And I'm actually going to slow down here so these guys can escape. Because if enemies run away from you, then they're actually permanently removed from the map. But if you run away from enemies, then they just kind of flash, and then after a while, they start chasing you again. So let's try to get away from these guys. They come screaming out of nowhere. And I want to move up here, spawn both those guys onto the map. That way there's no surprises, and then run right into Eggman's lab. And here we're going to switch back over to Sonic's team, who is actually on an airship this time. And we just have a small mini-boss fight here. Nothing too special. We have just this one Marauder guy. So all we do is fastball him out of existence and move on with our lives. So 1, 2, 3. And it'll come around again after this guy attacks. Very simple. Uppercut level 3, right on time. And we want Blow Kiss level 3 as well. So these guys immediately start attacking our weapons. And we just pretty much go down here to confront them. And switches back over to Tails' team. So we're going to have another more substantial mini-boss fight here in a second. Switch over to Rouge, just so we can try to get away from those guys. We were not successful. But if we're lucky, that's really the only time we're gonna get into an encounter here. We'll have to dodge those drones down in the underground tunnel, though. Oh, okay. So, that's a thing. Those guys were directly on top of us. Also, Eggman just got a crit. That almost never happens. So did Big. It's pretty crazy. It's not every other sentence is talking about RNG. So, if it's on the overworld, it's not RNG, it's set. You really just have to manipulate the encounters. Also, we run in here to get a quick level up with Big. Yeah, so theoretically, for that pass-through strat on the conveyor belt, if you wait there long enough, then you can just go up there and get it every single time. There are very small instances of RNG, like throughout the run. I mean, that's just a given, but it's not really, really heavy. So we're just gonna pop back up here. Don't have to worry about those marauders anymore. Basically done. So, he's only with us for a couple chapters. 4, 5, and 6. And you pretty much can't use him in chapter 6. So one thing I did talk about as far as the RNG goes, I did say that some of the bosses have some RNG on them, right? So I'm going to take a safety save here. So there's a pretty difficult action coming up, that's Sabotage. So that's a combination attack with Tails and Eggman. It does KO a robotic opponent. If it does hit, it has a 90% chance to hit. So we'll see what happens. So we're gonna sabotage that guy, and then Froggy Rain. And it doesn't matter what we do with Rouge. That guy's evading. Oh boy, okay, so I dropped the action. It comes up pretty fast, and it's kind of a long one. Luckily we can try it again. So let's do that. And yeah, Rouge is pretty much just support here. So we're gonna distribute some pile candy, just so everybody's good for the next round. And we'll try to sabotage this guy again. Here we go. So one hit KO, Eggman's got all his power points again, so this is where he really shines. So we're gonna finish this out. Just gonna call down an orbital bombardment. And finish both these guys out. Okay, so once we fire this cannon and get all the other airships off of Sonic's, we find out that it really doesn't matter, because they get shot down by a beam cannon on Angel Island anyway. And we're gonna go to the boss fight for this chapter, which is a gauntlet, really. A series of 3 fights in a row. And this is the main villain, Imperator X. So we're gonna head over there to that pyramid. Should be able to avoid these guys. Good. Okay. Sometimes that guy doesn't turn back. It's really just dependent on your position. This is actually fine. One thing we do have to be careful of is not to hit too many crates, because the enemies on Angel Island are pretty fast. So if you hit 1 or 2 of them, they will catch you. Wow, that guy usually doesn't go that far. Okay, I guess we'll just get into the encounter with him. So we haven't quite figured out how these enemies actually work, but they do have like a certain area that they kind of patrol. I think if they actually like see you in that area, they will come closer to you. This is the hardest one to avoid. Also, music glitch. That happens randomly. This game is pretty well programmed. The rings are currency. Okay, so we're just gonna do a quick menu here. Knuckles needs to get the economizer, and let's see, Shadow needs the sparkly gloves. And we're pretty much good on the rest. I'll give Amy the refresher. And Sonic speed sneakers, and we're just gonna heal up our wounds and go in and fight. So that's good, except for Amy. Yeah, we're fine here. Alright, time for the bosses. And the map reloads, so the music comes back. So, before we can fight Imperator X, he's just gonna throw his little lackeys at us in a couple waves. And this is where Shadow actually really shines again. So, we're gonna stack it, we're gonna use a random item. And Atomic Strike, you really only need to do 1 Atomic Strike. Then these guys go. This version of the Marauders, they really don't do that much damage. And we are going to get all these guys in 1 Atomic Strike. Also, this is where they start to have leech. So every time they hit you, they get a certain amount of life back. Which is rather annoying, but doesn't matter too much. And Sonic levels up, and Shadow does as well. Gonna get that Axe Kick level 2. And more importantly, Atomic Strike level 3. It's a 250 times multiplier on the damage. But we have one more thing to do with the ground crew, so we're going to take them back to the underground and avoid those guys. Grab these rusty hydraulics. And try to avoid these guys here. That's good, and then we're going to give these guys down here a wide berth. Run right around. It's good, no encounters. So all we have to do here is go back to the headquarters. Then Eggman's going to run around here and do his thing. And what he's doing is activating a teleporter. So he's going to teleport us up to Angel Island, but not immediately. Meanwhile, we're going to get another wave of lackeys thrown at us. And these guys are a little bit stronger. And it's good that we didn't get ambushed. That's actually great. So, same thing. You might remember this fight from 2 minutes ago. Same exact strategy. Except these guys take 2 atomic strikes to take out. And they're a little more damaging with their regular attacks. And good, nobody phased. Again, they can phase and just kind of opt out of damage, but there's a very low chance for that to actually happen. And it doesn't really matter anyway, because if they don't get hit by the first atomic strike, then they will get hit by the second one. Which is really just to take out this guy now. Alright, now we actually get to fight Imperator X. But we do get a refresh, so everybody teleports up from Metropolis Zone. And helps us out. So we go to a party selection screen, and once we go to another party selection screen, right, we get full resources again. So we're going to take the same characters and move on. And this is basically the same thing, except you pretty much always get ambushed here by Imperator X, just because of him. But yeah, same fight, except we get Knuckles involved. So, that's what we're gonna do. That's why we have more Rock Salt. Actually, it's probably a better idea to use some health items. I'll use one on Shadow himself. We're gonna do 2 atomic strikes. Knuckles is gonna uppercut Imperator X. Then we're gonna empower 1 and power Knuckles just for safety. Man, maybe I should have used that healing item on Knuckles. Okay, it looks like they're going to spread the love here. So that's good. Character we're really worried about empowering is Shadow. So that gets rid of his guys. And then we still have an uppercut, and we still have atomic strike to go, even though he's hitting us with leech. Go. Knuckles is at power 4, and now we're going to take him out. And it's very important that we take him out, actually, this round, because he could call back his guys. But it really doesn't matter anyway. If he calls them back, they get swept up in Atomic Strike and just die in the same round. So that boss fight actually went really well. Now we're going to move into Chapter 6. So, Pure Direct steals the Master Emerald. And what that's going to cause is... it's going to cause Angel Island to actually sink into Metropolis Zone. And that's going to be where Chapter 6 takes place. So, because the giant island just fell into the city, Chapter 6 really just consists of reactivating the power grid. So, Pure Directs took the Master Emerald, and really all the other Chaos Emeralds, and took off into another dimension called the Twilight Cage. So, we're just pretty much strategizing here on how we're gonna follow him. Also, we get Shade. So after Imperator X revealed his plan, Shade doesn't actually trust him anymore, so she decides to help out Sonic instead. Okay, also, we need to slow down here and increase Echidna Rush. Because Echidna Rush is a ridiculous move. That's actually going to carry us through the rest of the game. So this is the first generator. And this chapter is actually really short. So that's pretty much all we have to do is activate those generators. And then when we fight the boss, after we fight the boss, we're going to get an item called the Dimensional Buffer. That way we can follow Imperator X into the Twilight Cage. So that's generator 1. This is generator 2. And up here is going to be generator 3. I need to be careful not to hit that spring. And we can kind of manipulate this guy right here into a position where we can just kind of skirt around him. He's not being cooperative right now. Okay, that kind of works, I guess. I got trapped against the wall. Omega is actually in Metropolis Zone, so we don't use him in this run. So you have to go a little bit out of your way to get him. It is worth it, generally, casual play, because he's the best character in the game, hands down. He has a power move that can actually annihilate, a solo power move that can annihilate pretty much any enemy. Because it's armor piercing, it has like a 300% damage multiplier, and it causes the enemy to drop their defense. So if he doesn't kill you with the first one, he's going to kill you with the second. And I don't know, in the future, it may be rerouted to route in Omega, but as of right now, there's not really a need for him. Yeah, your only opportunity to get Omega is when you're in Metropolis Zone proper in Chapter 5. And that's really the whole reason why Shadow joins the party, is to look for look for Omega. But I guess he just sticks around anyway. Okay, so now we're gonna get on to the boss of the chapter. And take a menu right here. So. Yeah, Sparkly Gloves is gonna go to Sonic. So let's equip that. Boxing Gloves here. Oh man. And Economizer should go on Sonic as well. So, let's go ahead and save here. And hope we don't get ambushed by Eggbot. So Eggbot is actually a, he has some horrible RNG. So he can pretty much just point and click and kill any one of your characters, like point blank. So yeah, he's one of the only bosses left that really kind of makes me nervous. Yeah, there's only one after this. The rest of the boss fights are pretty consistent. And this one is pretty consistent too, generally. Just depends on what he decides to do, so we'll see. So we're gonna throw Rock Salt on Sonic. Try to axe kick these guys out of existence, and then we're gonna use Echidna Rush on this guy. And Blow Kiss, and we're gonna Blow Kiss here as well. Okay, starts off with Shocker. That's actually real good. That means we're gonna take no damage. So this Eggbot fight is kind of the reverse of other boss fights. Oh boy. They're both evading, which means they're gonna take no damage from this. So Eggbot actually has self-repair. So as long as the drones are standing, he's gonna get back up. Hence the backup here. So we're gonna empower. We're gonna empower Shade. Okay, so that's good. Also gonna empower Knuckles. Hopefully that guy doesn't evade, and we'll be out of here in no time. Looks like he's not evading. Oh, he still is, I guess. And there's that attack. And this is going to go on a little bit longer, just because of the whiffs now. Sabotage would work on him. Unfortunately, you can't pick Eggman, because he's busy doing other stuff in the zone. Yeah, it actually would be real nice to to just sabotage him. Let's see here. So I guess I'm just gonna give Power Gum to Sonic. We should be good. I guess not. Evading. Yeah, evade's so good, man. Yeah, now Eggbot's gonna pick us off one by one. At least we should be able to hit the drone here. Oh god, man. Come on now. Alright. Alright, so he's defending. There we go. Yeah, so we got baited pretty hard with those evades, unfortunately. And that boss fight's usually one round. So if you set it up to where Sonic has those sparkly gloves so he can do a lot more damage, and throw a rock salt on him, those axe kicks will just take out those drones, like, pretty much right away. And then all you have to do is Echidna Rush on Eggbot, and you're out of there. Yeah, but apparently this run is the run for getting trolled pretty hard, as you've seen in multiple boss fights already. Also, we want to put the sparkly gloves onto Shade. On the Shade. Oh, boxing gloves on Sonic. And we're good there. We also want Shade to have the economizer. And that's the last chance we have to equip before we go to the next section. So Tails turns the Tornado into basically the Normandy from Mass Effect, and we follow Imperator X through the dimensional barrier to the Twilight Cage. And there are a bunch of different colonies here, one of which we're going to crash land onto in a second. And we're going to take these two and go. Yeah, Shades of the Echidna as well. So that's what the Dark Brotherhood are. Also known as the Nocturnus, also known as Marauders. They're like an ancient rival clan to Knuckles' clan. And they got mysteriously transported to the Twilight Cage during something known as the Argus event. And there's a whole subplot in this game that deals with that. But for the speed run, we don't deal with it at all. Okay, and this is the reason why we give Amy all that speed. Because at this point, she needs to be faster than Shade. That way she can power up this Echidna Rush. And I dropped an input. Usually the Echidna Rush, the one just takes him out. But yeah, the Kron, I think they have the highest or the second highest armor rating, which is also a hidden rating, just like Power. So they have like the second highest in the game. So your normal attacks basically do nothing to them. And we just go back in there so we can get back to full resources, because we have another forced encounter here. Yeah, so Echidna Rush actually ignores armor, so it just cuts right through them. Makes these fights really, really fast. Yeah, the difficulty does actually go up quite a bit, but if you use armor-piercing moves, it gets pretty dang easy, actually. So we knock both those guys out just like that. And then we want Blade Rush. And that's the only fighting we actually have to do on this planet. And one thing I think I did not explain just yet is combination attacks, which probably should have at the beginning of the game. So they're slightly nuanced, not too nuanced. Whatever character is initiating the attack, I try to have them in a higher position in the party. That way they can initiate the attack, and the character that's combining with them, they can just do whatever they want. If you have the opposite order, then the character that is in front has to attack before you can even activate the move. Which is actually what you see with Shadow and Sonic. That's why Sonic has to attack before Shadow can do Atomic Strike. So, kind of a weird thing. I don't know if it was intended. This guy is almost impossible to avoid. Okay, so this shop visit is pretty important. What we want to buy here are a couple of Earth Rings. So we actually have enough without even selling anything. But I'm going to sell some stuff. Those Iron Claws, Rusty Hydraulics, Iron Tonic we don't need, this, Speed Bar, all that stuff can be sold. And we're just going to buy some more Rock Salts. Good. Right on the nose. So the only thing we have to do here is just get the Chaos Emerald, which we have to solve a puzzle right before that. And yeah, the running in this game is skill-based as opposed to just luck-based. So that's a plus, and kind of goes into what I say, where like everything in this game is earned. Yeah, Crazy Beans is kind of terrible. It just gives you a random status buff. Yeah, and so chows. I actually didn't talk about chows too much because we don't use them in the speedrun. Unfortunately, it may evolve to that point at some point in the future. Right now, I'm just gonna talk about this puzzle though. So, none of these symbols can be the same, and we just have to adjust off of whatever the blue one is. So we're gonna leave it like that and see what we got. So that's right. It looks like we just have to switch the other two. So I'm just gonna make this plus, and this one slash, and we should be able to get through. But yeah, the chows. I did pick up a couple chow eggs, but it really doesn't matter. The chows hatch randomly into like 1 of 40. And if we were able to use them, like if their hatches were consistent, then it would actually like speed this run up a little bit more. Because there are actually some really good chow out there. I guess the ones we really would be looking for are the elementals. The ones that give all your moves elemental attacks. Or elemental properties, rather. Oh, almost ran into him. Let's not do that. There's also a subplot with these Gizoids. Okay, so we just pop on this barrier. Increase. And then we're gonna go grab the Chaos Emerald. So we just run around this guy and grab it right over here. Just right out in the open. So we are going to get all the Chaos Emeralds before this runs through. It's actually required for you to get all of them. So you don't have a choice. But yeah, we're going to get one for pretty much every colony that we visit. It's almost impossible to avoid this guy too, so we're going to run into him. Yeah, this isn't BioWare's best work, unfortunately. So we can dodge that guy, and try to dodge this one too. This guy usually gets me. Yeah, so I think this game is just like rushed out. Yeah, like I said, there's multiple ways to tell that it was not a finished product. Like, not by a long shot. No, there's a couple more chapters. They're pretty short, though. So there's 10 chapters. We're going to be on chapter 8 after we exit the ship. And we do need to take Big along here. This is the second zone in the game, where we're forced to take a character with invulnerability. And you really want to slow down the dialogue here. So we get to this planet. And we meet the Nargal. So they're basically like energy eaters. And they're going to come chew on the ship. And we don't actually want to fight these guys. So we want to pick option 3. So, the leech for Marauders, that's not bad. The leech for Nargal is kind of ridiculous, actually. So, every time they hit you, they basically heal back to full health. And all we have to do here is go talk to the Nargal Queen. It's just right here. We ask her for the Chaos Emerald, but she basically tells us we need to go beat up the Zoa, so we're gonna leave. And we're gonna go to the Zoa planet. And we just need Big to walk through those electric barriers right there. It's literally it. Wait for that guy to slink around. And we're just gonna pack up and leave. And we get taken there automatically. So we want to take Shade, we want to take Knuckles, and Amy. Yeah, we don't use Big again until the end of the game. Okay, so we want Shade to actually have one of these Earth Rings on. And we want Sonic to have the other Earth Ring. Economizer goes to Knuckles. And we're good. So, pretty much every colony we get to, we have a encounter. And these Zoa are pretty much just like the Kron. Really high armor rating. So we just use Echidna Rush to bypass all that. And hopefully I'm not going to drop an input here. See, Knuckles is weakness status, but it really doesn't matter for him. He's not going to be dealing any damage. It's all going to be Shade. So you can see that she's doing some ridiculous damage. These guys have a 25% weakness to Earth. And every enemy type we encounter from here on out is going to have some sort of weakness to Earth. So we're just going to repeat that process pretty much all throughout this colony. Let's see, we want to take Quick Punch too. Run back to the ship real quick, and then get our resources back. And Amy. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do on this planet, we're going to get a side quest that has kind of a ridiculous payout. Again, this one's even bigger than the last time. But first we're going to stop in here and get Curse Gloves. So those are really important, actually, and we're going to equip those to Shade right away. And then Sonic's going to get Sparkly Gloves, and then we're good. So, this shopkeep down here, he's pretty much been scamming everyone. So he's selling charms, right? And he's selling charms, and he says it's going to protect you against this monster. And pretty much this is like a little hologram projector that he has. And this is an enemy from Chapter 4, by the way. So he's pretty easy. Anyway, so he's been projecting it into the streets, saying that only his charms are going to protect you. But we foil his plot. And for that, we get 3,000 XP. Just for that one little battle. So, kind of ridiculous. Okay, and then we're going to stop in here and get a pretty good piece of armor. The Box Eye Teleporter. Which, I don't know why a teleporter actually gives you defense, but that's what it does. Okay, and there's actually like 2 paths you can take on this planet. I'd take kind of the indirect route, just because you get more resources for the boss fight. So you don't challenge anyone for citizenship. Instead, you just fight these guys out here. And this way you actually get another pair of Cursed Gloves for Sonic to wear to increase his damage. So same deal, we're going to empower Shade, and Shade's just going to do her thing. 2, 3. And we can even drop a couple inputs at this point because she does so much damage. Yeah, so if you do the challenge for citizenship, you can actually just go fight kind of like a few boss fights in a row. You fight this guy named Gentleman, and then you hop right into the 2 boss fights after that. But if you do this puzzle, you get the same amount of XP. This puzzle is kind of weird. So we step on this switch, we get a random combination. It's usually plus and then minus. So 6, so 5 here. Okay, so this one ought to be pretty easy. So 9 minus 4, so 5 plus 1, so 6. There we go. The ones where the numbers add up to over 10, that makes it a little bit easier. But yeah, usually you add the first number and then you subtract the second number. Sometimes it's not like that. Okay, and then we're going to get into the boss fight here. After we grab the Cursed Gloves, The Curse Gloves are right in here. We want that guy to kind of wander off. Sometimes we catch his attention and he doesn't quite walk away. Walk away, dude. There we go. And we also get Psychic Water, which is pretty important. And everyone should pretty much be good on HP. Let's see, we're gonna go equip those Sonic right now. And yeah. Increase her PP with the Power Drink. And we're good, we're good. We're good on everyone. So, let's go fight. So we're going to challenge the ruler of this planet, but first we're going to fight his champion, which is Cyrax, and not the one from Mortal Kombat. This is a Sonic version of Cyrax, who really just looks like the regular Zoa Brutes, but with bigger shoulder pads. Okay, so to stack correctly, we're just going to use pretty much any random items. Any 2 random items with Sonic. Just so we can use a Power Gum on Shade. So it stacks after the Echidna rushes. And then we're going to empower her again, and then empower Sonic just for a backup. And barring any dropped inputs, this ought to be a pretty easy boss fight. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Take out the boss first. And then all we have to do is clean up these guys. Very simple. No RNG whatsoever. This fight's simple, clean, and really the same every time. It just depends on what you do. Okay, that ought to do it. Ah, drop the input, so we just have to catch it with the axe kick. Okay, so Sonic is actually capped out for speed at this point, at least for bonus points. As he levels up normally, he'll still get more points into his speed. Yeah, for some reason they decided to use the spike sound effect as like a positive one in this game, and I couldn't really tell you why. Also, this is another Sonic solo fight, so all we do is axe kick. And we're gonna go before him this time. Yeah, good, good, good. Sometimes he tries to sneak a supernova in there. which is not bad. Just kind of waste a little bit of time. So now we get the second Chaos Emerald. And all the Zoa pretty much disappear from the streets. And they're replaced with Marauders. So we just take these guys again. Good, good. I'm gonna run back in the palace really quick. Shoot. I guess I'm gonna go from this side. That's the wrong prompt. I'm just gonna grab this. Has some pretty important stuff in it. Refresher Wave kind of acts as Kareem's Refresh in the beginning, gives us a lot of PP to the entire party. And then the Meta Mitter does the same thing for health. So we definitely want to stock up on those. And this will be the last encounter for this planet. So we just slow down, let them get away, and we're going to roll out to go to Chapter 9. Only other thing we have to do is go back to the Nargal planet real quick. Doesn't matter who we take along here. Just take the same characters for consistency. And then the Nargal Queen meets us right here at our ship. And gives us her Chaos Emerald. And for some reason that sound effect is like super loud. Like way louder than any other sound effect in the game. Now we go to Voxai Colony Beta. And here it's pretty important to take Shadow along. And then we're going to take these two, Knuckles and Amy. Still keep pumping speed to Shadow. And we're going to get Chaos Rift here. And the kind of weird thing about this planet is that there's no hostile enemies at the beginning. So you actually can't get into encounters for the first part of this. Gonna do a quick menu. Because Shadow actually needs these Curse Gloves. And everything else is good. It's pretty much all we need. So we just head over here. Then we meet up with this guy. This guy is Thebus. So he's pretty much one of the only characters that's not under the influence of the Overmind. The Overmind is kind of like this hive mind-like being. Has psychic control over pretty much everyone here. He's one of the only ones that can resist it. So he's got kind of a little resistance going. Unfortunately, he'll find out that his friends are not actually his friends. I'm actually going to detour in here real quick. Zoa Shield, we're going to grab that. It's important later on. So we just go to the speed zone. We're actually going to meet him at his house. So once we have this conversation and his plan is revealed, that's when his friends turn on him. And these guys, they have a psychic gimmick, so you always get ambushed, and they always attack before you. And their normal attacks poison you. So yeah. See, and we just offset here while we do atomic strike. And we don't involve Knuckles just yet. And I really don't know which one is slower. When they do Psychic Wave or when they attack normally. I feel like it's almost the same amount of time for each. Anyway, these guys are weak to actually both lightning and earth. 25% weakness to earth, 10% weakness to lightning. I don't believe those actually stack. And I'm not sure how it's determined, like, which element actually hits them first. Also that, so they can counter you as well, being psychic and all. They don't counter you all the time, but I'd say about 90% of the time they do. Oh, we actually had some rock salt. That's pretty good. It's a rare drop. So, what you're going to see on this planet, two of the same fights, and the third fight is almost the same with the bosses. Also, now we have hostiles. So, all the Voxai that are floating around can now actually attack you. And geez, this guy just won't get out of my way. I'll let him drift up there a little bit more. Oh god, the sound. We have to listen to that more. Okay, so we go to the teleporter to go to the other side of the colony, Voxai Colony Alpha, and we get cut off by this mini-boss. Let's see, so I'm actually going to heal Sonic here. Not feeling super comfortable with his life. And we're going to Quake Punch with Knuckles. The good thing about Knuckles and his Quake Punch is he has a chance to randomly stun. So instead of looking at these slow attacks, you can actually just get straight to the point and attack them. Okay, we got the boss. So yeah, these guys are going to get swept up in this atomic strike. And then once we do it again, they're dead. So there's Shadow, proving that he's worth his weight in gold. Again. And we actually want to take this level 3 Quake Punch, which comes right on time. Yeah, only the best sound effects in this game. Boink, boing, and merman noises. Okay, so going over to Colony Alpha, we're a little closer to the Overmind. So Lexi gives us the Chaos Emerald that's charged up with Psychic Energy, so we can resist the Overmind's pull. And this is the only area in the game where you're actually forced to take a teleporting character. Unfortunately, we have Shadow. Just so happens to double as that. This section is actually really short and sweet. Looks like we're going to get through it without an encounter. So we're going to go over here and activate this puzzle right here. So we're just going to have Knuckles activate it. We're going to have the Hedgehogs go down and step on each one of these switches. And then we're going to get a little countdown. Anytime we get 1 beep, we press the switch. Anytime we get 2 beeps, we leave it alone. So optimally, we just want 1 beep every time, which I've never gotten a countdown with 1 beep every time. And it looks like this one's pretty much just going to be 2 beeps. It's nice because you can just not do anything to solve the puzzle. Yeah, I only got 1 beep. It sucks as far as time. And Rift. These guys sometimes get me. Looks like they won't get me today, though. Alright, let's patch up our wounds before we go fight. So it looks like we're good, and we just need a power drink here. So let's go fight the boss. So we get Knuckles involved a little bit more here. But overall, it's the same fight. And the funny thing about this game is that it's programmed very poorly. And it kind of comes out in this battle. So the 2 enemies on the sides, if they do a power move, which will be Psy Dazzle and Psy Slow, they actually do absolutely nothing. Which is pretty funny. Let's go ahead and heal. Atomic Strike, and 2 Quake Punches. And 1, and 2. Oh, he just so happened to do his. His actually works. Oh, and he, looks like he put Knuckles to sleep. I guess we're gonna power him up anyway. So we do have enough for another Atomic Strike. It's basically all we need. All we need to get rid of these guys. So it would have been a little bit faster if Knuckles had been awake to do his Quake Punches. But not how it played out. Still good though. Yeah, so now we beat up the Overmind. The Lexi actually takes the leftover power and becomes the new Overmind. And we get 2 more Chaos Emeralds. And all the Voxai on this planet, at least on this side, get replaced with Marauders and Gizoids. Doesn't matter what happens too much here, since we're very close to our ship. All we gotta do is hit the teleporter, and then, yeah. There's like a guy by the teleporter on the other side, but he's fairly easy to avoid. Actually, I'm not gonna do that just yet. I'm gonna wait till I get to the next planet. Actually, I'm just gonna wait till I get to Nocturne. So we're going into the final chapter. But first, we have to stop over at the Chron planet. Just for a quick summit. So, just kind of like Mass Effect 3, Sonic pretty much becomes Commander Shepard and brings together all these alien races to assault one goal. So we just come back to the Chron planet to meet. There's pretty much me and like one other person that runs this game. As far as I know. Yeah, so, really big. To answer your question. Yeah, Amy is the only romance option. And you have to actually take all the dialogue options where you're nice to her throughout the game to get the scene before you fly off to Nocturne. Let's see this guy. Oh. He actually caught me. Yeah, there actually is a romance option. Believe it or not. Even though Amy says she has a boyfriend, but you never actually see him materialize. And I think she actually admits at some point that he's made up. Yeah, so it has all the classic BioWare signatures. Alright, so what we're gonna buy here, some psychic water. Good. One more for good measure. One more rock salt. And basically we just go to this summit. We tell everyone to stop fighting, and then we come up with a plan to assault Nocturne. That's it. We leave. And for some reason that guy's AI just breaks completely when you come back to this planet, so he only walks in circles. There actually is no sequel to this game. The ending of the game actually sets it up for a sequel, but it doesn't actually come to fruition. Okay, and now we get a really bad rendition of the Sonic and Knuckles final boss fight. For some reason, they decided to take that track and slow it down by like 1000%. And we end up with this. And then we meet the two bosses for this this section. Carbdus and Scala. Scala's really easy. Carbdus would be pretty easy, except the game sets you up in a pretty crappy situation before you fight him. And good. So we want to keep up on his defense, speed, and battering ram. And cream. It's good, so we're gonna level up refresh, we're gonna level up her heal and revive as well. Yeah, so this is the second section where we split into two parties. So these guys actually have the last two Chaos Emeralds. And we're gonna be fighting them in a few minutes. But we have a few obstacles to go through, before we fight him. First, he just runs off and locks the door behind him, so for some reason we just have to come in here to unlock the door, and then go after him. It's kind of odd. Okay, once we get in here, we're gonna have a party switch. We're gonna switch over to Knuckles' party. Then we're gonna re-equip. We're gonna re-equip Shade with the Curse Gloves. And we got there. So you just run forward, and then you actually run into this cannon. And they can't proceed until Sonic turns off the cannon on the other side. For some reason, the switch to this cannon is just like out in the open. Nobody knows why. This is supposed to be like a heavily guarded citadel. For some reason, you can just go out here and fly right across and deactivate it. So it's going to switch back over, and that allows Knuckles to cross that section. And we're just going to switch to Shadow for a little bit more speed. Fly right across here. And then we're going to get into our first survival battle, really. And these kind of suck. And we got ambushed by him. So we can't actually harm these because they're Centurions or afflict them with any status anomalies or anything. So pretty much all we can do here is defend. And we have to defend for a few rounds. So again, it's actually good that they're using POW moves here. Their POW moves are pretty easily dodged. The only reason we get hit by Quake Punch is because Quake Punch is a no-miss move, so you can only reduce the damage on it. Okay, so back on the other side. what we have to do is scan these 4 broken gizoids that are inside this section. So, we scan this guy. There's just one right here in this corner. There's another one over here. Avoid that guy. Sometimes that guy gets me. And we just go upstairs and there's 2 more. And lately, I've been a fan of going to the right first and then going back to the left. After you scan the last gizoid, you get a cutscene. And that cutscene actually allows this gizoid that's behind us to catch up. And we don't have too much space to avoid him on the right side, where on the left, we have quite a bit. So, switch back over to the Knuckles side. We're going to fight these guys. And they're actually very easy, and actually really weak. So we don't even need a rock salt here. We can just straight up kill him with the Echidna Rush. And I'm just going to throw one of these onto Shade, just to make sure she survives. And hope nobody gets stunned by this. They usually don't go so hard with the Quake Punch. Just like a casual playthrough. I don't know, maybe somewhere in the realm of like 7 or 8 hours, I'd say. Yeah, so again, Echidna Rush is really good, just ignores armor, and has a pretty big damage multiplier. I actually want to heal up here. It looks like everybody's in pretty good condition, save for Knuckles. So we just give him one of these, and then one of these, and we're good. Oh, for a speed run, yeah, just about 3 hours. My PB on this game is 2 hours and 39 minutes. But yeah, 15 to 20 hours is just like if you do all the side quests and everything for the Argus event. Let's see, so we want to equip a couple more pieces. We want to equip that to Cream, and we want to equip that to Tails. And get rid of that Spooky Charm since we don't need it. And I like going back that way because it avoids that encounter. So we go over the speed zone and try to avoid this guy here. This guy kind of sucks to avoid. Got around him though. Yeah, and so here's the suck part. The sucky part. So underwater you can't use any of your POW moves. So I'm actually gonna run up to these air bubbles and take a safety save, just in case I run into any of these guys along the way. So there's only like 2 guys you can really run into. Oh, and I got hung up on the wall. Okay, we're gonna stand here for a couple seconds. You can see our PP return. So that's what happens when you stand at the air bubbles. Your health kind of slowly drains, but it's like really, really slow. but your power points actually drain pretty fast. Then we're going to go over to Carbis. So this is another survival battle, except Carbis is actually pretty crazy. So this is what the Psychic Waters are for. And they actually raise your defense a good bit, so it can cause him to whiff occasionally, where normally he would just hit you. So let's kind of just dole those out. And hopefully he's not too bad. Okay. Dodges Mighty Slash. That's probably the worst the worst power move to dodge in the game. I usually drop the second input on that. And he hits the entire party and has a very high chance to actually put the entire party to sleep. And of course he's going to hit the one character that is not protected by Psychic Water. Yeah, also his attack animations take forever. Yeah, Amy didn't survive, unfortunately. We really just need one character to survive. He's not attacking Cream at all for some reason. Okay, so that's it. So, your party gets left in pretty poor condition, and then you have to fight him immediately after you fight Scala here. Scala's actually really just a pushover with the Kit in a Rush. One, two, and then big for the backup, and a battering ram. Oh god, Mighty Slash. Yeah, so he can do Mighty Slash too. He like rarely ever does it though. This is actually a little bit of an oddity. So that's the most unfortunate of circumstances. This almost never happens. As with a lot of things that have taken place in this particular run. I guess he heard me talking about him. Yeah, usually you just hit him with 2 Echidna Rushes, and that's pretty much it. Looks like he's probably going to attack Shade again. I don't know who he's aiming at. Okay, he's aiming at Shadow. Yeah, so now we're just going into backups. Okay, and now he's asleep. So we can just finish him off. So this is what was supposed to happen. We get the 6th Chaos Emerald. And we want to heal the party up right here. Because there is a glitch that can take place when we come back out of this building right here. It's actually a beneficial glitch. So we want to just heal up. Let's see, we can throw a couple roots on her. Looks like we're pretty much good though. And yeah, we definitely want to restore PP. So we'll do that. We'll do that. And then we'll go in here. So we don't know what actually causes the glitch, and haven't been able to successfully recreate it consistently. But it does happen occasionally, and it just keeps you from going over an overworld portion. Okay, so we're gonna start this off with a meta emitter, which we pretty desperately need. And then as a back break, I like to heal with cream, just in case. Good. So I like to blue bomber immediately here, just so we can try to get weakness status on him, so he can terrorize us a little bit less. Okay, and it's on him. So from here, we pretty much just empower Sonic and blow him up. So his attacks are going to do basically nothing now. Okay, and actually caught Mighty Slash again. So, pretty good fight. All we have to do is blue bomber him again and get rid of him. And Sonic always goes first, for the most part. That holds true. And we get the 7th Chaos Emerald. So now we're going to roll up to the final boss fight. Looks like we didn't get the glitch. Yeah, so you can tell you got the glitch. If the dialogue that's going to trigger up here in a little bit actually triggers as soon as you walk out that door. That's actually not great. But I guess it's fine. They're like they're actually stealing power points from us. So I guess we're sitting through another round. Yeah, so this is the other thing the glitch actually skips. It doesn't leave any room for encounters. All these guys want to do Leech Wave. Like, all 4 of them want to do Leech Wave. All of them want to do Leech Wave. Can we leave now? That'd be great. I'm actually gonna need to use some Pal Candy on Knuckles. Okay. Yeah, so we're just gonna need to use that Pal Candy before we climb that wall. Yeah, so as soon as we come out of that other building down there, if we did get the glitch, the dialogue that happens right here would just happen down there. And then we would immediately get teleported to Imperator X's throne room. So I just randomly got that glitch in my PB. I don't know. Somehow I got it. So now that we got to the final fight with Team Knuckles, we have to get there with Team Sonic. And really all we have to do is come out here. So we're already healed up and everything, so we just go straight in. So we have to fight Imperator X like 4 times. Unfortunately. So you have to get him down to 800 health with the first party, take the second 800 health with the second party, and then you have to fight him again, and then you have to fight him again. Why? I don't know. And normally you would have to take out these power pylons on the side, but we're gonna get straight to the point. Actually, that's correct. So, Kit in a rush. Kit in a rush. And I'm actually gonna heal. I'm gonna heal her before I throw a rock salt on. Because in this fight, Imperator X actually gets priority. Okay, he's doing Doom Orb. It's actually pretty good. We can dodge that. Oh, and he's doing it again. That's way better than him doing a normal attack. Yeah, again, since we have pretty extreme damage multiplier, and the ignoring of the armor, we don't have to worry about taking out his power pylons. We can just attack him. Oh boy. It's stupid. So yeah, he regenerates every round. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna use one of these. We're gonna use a refresher wave. And basically just ride this round out. I dropped a few too many inputs there. But we got him this time. Wow, this is actually great. So he's not normal attacking at all. Until just now. So there we go. Take them all out at the same time. Alright, so now we fight him with the Sonic side. It's actually much the same fight, except we don't have an armor-piercing move over here. We do have blue bombers, though. We have many blue bombers. And he's got a lot of Doom Orbs, apparently he wants to give out. He wants to show us his Doom Orb collection. So hopefully we get weakness status on him. Doesn't matter too much. Just a nice bonus. See, so Sonic's at Empowered 4 now. And one more blue bomber ought to end it. Alright, so Imperator X goes to his final form, and we have to do one more battle. This time we're gonna take... Yeah, we can't take Knuckles. And we're taking these guys here. So this actually starts off with a chase sequence, which is actually rather annoying. So these orbs actually do 25 damage, and every time you hit one, you have to like go through an extra cycle of this. So yeah, we're going through an extra cycle. Should only have to hit one more accelerator though. Alright, and now we're gonna get down to it. So, we don't have Echidna Rush available, so what we're just going to do is replace that with Blade Rush, which is really just as good, to be quite honest. We're going to try to Chaos Rift him, just to put him to sleep. Chaos Rift is usually a one-hit KO, but with enemies this strong, usually doesn't KO them. But you do get the status anomaly. So he's asleep. Don't have to worry about him. And we want to take him out first before he can call any more of his guys out. Alright, so now it's just to clean up. Gonna fastball that guy. I'm just gonna pretty much just go all out, attack this dude. Yeah, just dropped the last few inputs. Luckily, not really doing too much damage with Shadow anyway. Yeah, sometimes these guys just counter a lot. Yikes. So, that was pretty stupid. Oh, let me get another rock salt for no reason. Well, it's not every attack, but it's quite a bit. Okay, and time is actually going to be coming up right after this little meme portion here. So you actually turn to Supersonic. And just like Final Fantasy VII, where you get the meme battle between Sephiroth and Cloud right after the real fight, that's basically what this is. So just one long touchscreen action, and it doesn't matter if you drop a lot of inputs on his. You really want to get yours perfect. So time will be right after he goes down here in about 5 seconds. And there we go. Well, it is, but for this, it's better just to end there. But in a normal run, the time would be after the credits. This way you can see the ending and everything. Yeah, so they actually leave the Twilight Cage, and they get back to their planet, where they find out that time passes a little bit differently. So they think they've been gone only a few weeks or so, and they've actually been gone for years. And yeah, that gives Eggman enough time to take over the entire planet. So yeah, guys, that's Sonic Chronicles. We got a pretty rough patch of RNG through there, but stuck it out. We made it through. And yeah, I think that's about it. So yeah, thanks for having me on this marathon, guys. It was a lot of fun. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope the commentary was good. And I guess I'll go ahead and pass it off to the next runner now. So good luck to everyone else.